because fuck me, that's why.
Okay.
That's basically how I look at computers, is that I'll set you up and everything works fine, and then I'll set me up and everything goes straight to shit.
Okay, cool.
It's basically how everything's worked.
Cool.
Build people computers, everything's fucking glorious. I build my own computer.
Sour.
Whole thing just explodes. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not even gonna fucking start at a different place. Okay. That's where we're starting. Right there! Welcome back to another exciting series of Hearthstone, brought to you by two gentlemen who barely know what the hell they're talking about.
Most certainly one of them, I tell you that.
We're going to hop in to another series here. Another couple of friends of ours who have volunteered their time to get us some video footage.
Are you going to wait to see if Hearthstone comes up with a replay system, or are you going to put out a video telling people how to submit their games? When are we going to start doing that?
That's going to happen after I actually figure out how we're going to permanently do this as a casting thing.
Okay.
In terms of video editing and everything.
Okay.
Until I have that figured out, I'm not doing shit.
Sounds like a plan.
Because this takes long enough as is. Me doing like tutorials and shit to try and get people to record video properly to upload to me so that I can use it for other editing.
It's gonna be a process. Hopefully, Hearthstone will just come up with a replay system, which I hear could be a thing.
Yes, it's possible.
But today we have two community members.
We do. We have MajorAwesome, who is a friend of both of ours and a mod on both of our channels.
Yeah, he's pretty awesome.
And iBlazes, who is a mod on my channel. And they are friends themselves. We hang out on TeamSpeak all the time, as all true shut-ins do, just hanging out on TeamSpeak all the time. So they have volunteered their time. So let's take a quick look at what 3 decks these gentlemen have brought to the table. Up first, we have MajorAwesome. MajorAwesome is rocking a mage deck.
Ooh.
He is rocking a hunter deck.
Ooh.
And he is rocking a rogue deck.
A rogue.
Surprisingly, not a lot of people using rogue that much.
Ever since they got nerfed, they were OP, and then they got nerfed, and then nobody used them. Now,
rogue is one of the strongest, if not the most strong, arena run heroes, but constructed while strong in certain circumstances still you have to work for that. You got to work for that money.
Yeah, and it's also a very combo heavy.
Well, that's this entire
it's all
thing.
Combos, so you really
gotta
know what the hell you're doing.
You have to be patient.
Yeah, you really do. That's one of the main things. You have to, just because you have like a cool combo set
doesn't mean you use it that turn.
Exactly, you got to wait. There's like actual pretty high strategy for rogue, more so than a lot of the other decks.
Absolutely. Now our good buddy iBlazes, he is bringing to the table a paladin deck.
Okay.
A druid deck.
Ooh.
Equally as strange a choice, given the odd place that druid is in right now. And a mage deck. Not surprising to see a couple mages here. Mage is incredibly strong right now, like stupid strong. Mage and priest are like neck and neck right now, and paladin's up there as well.
We can't forget about hunter.
Hunter's
Really?
Hunter can be good, but it's overshadowed quite a bit by mage and priest.
I haven't played Hearthstone in about a week and a half because I've been doing so much StarCraft.
You can figure out how to beat, like, if you just bring, like, say you take a mage deck and you just enter in like a couple of value cards instead of going pure spells and relying on Pyroblast like everybody wants to do right now.
Yeah.
Like, just put in a couple of Chillwind Yetis.
Yeah, roll the die and just go, let's go for it.
And you just friggin' put out a Chillwind Yeti and suddenly you can deal with pretty much a lot of what's, anyway, we can talk.
Anyway, let's just jump
right into it. First game!
Let's do it!
MajorAwesome is going to bring his hunter deck into the mix. So let's talk real quick about this hunter deck, and this week we're going to try and leave the decks up on screen a little longer so people actually see what the hell's happening. Okay. Because last time I didn't tell the boys when they did the recording to wait long enough, so we didn't have enough video footage.
Cool.
To let that happen.
All right.
Now we do, so I'm going to let that go.
There it is. Look at it. It's so beautiful.
So first up, we were looking at what did I say? I said the hunter deck. This is a twist on what I refer to as the secret bow deck. Okay? And you don't use this because you use beast decks. Yes. Pretty much exclusively with your hunter. A secret bow deck is reliant on secrets, as you might imagine.
Yeah.
As the name would imply, and using bows alongside those secrets. Now, the key difference here is that he's not bringing 2 eagle horn bows, which are the bows that every time a secret is revealed, you get
+1 attack.
+1. Well, not +1 attack, but you get 1 more round of use out of it. You get 1 more durability, if you will, out of it. And he's got a gladiator's longbow or whatever it's called. Instead of having a second one of those.
Yeah.
And that is a really powerful weapon.
I run 2 gladiator longbows in my deck, actually.
Yep. Really ridiculous board clear.
It does 5 damage, and it allows you to attack.
You're invulnerable.
Yes, so whatever you attack, the damage doesn't...
It doesn't do anything.
It doesn't do anything
to you.
There's
no damage.
So it's a great board clearing card, and also it does 10 damage over the top. The only thing that you want to be careful of is some oozes that are in the deck, which in your opponent's deck, which will completely counter basically your entire deck.
Luckily, in most secret bow decks and stuff, they're going to spend a lot. They're usually going to use, if they have an ooze and available to them, to get rid of that eagle horn, because if they see you piling up secrets, they're going to get rid of that weapon. Otherwise, you're going to have that weapon for days.
Yeah, you're just going to keep it beyond.
Just keep that going. So, if played properly and held on to until the late game, which you can't use until you have 7 mana anyway, the Gladiator's Longbow, very powerful weapon indeed. But that's the kind of deck that he's built here. Okay. It's kind of built around those.
What is he playing against?
iBlazes, on the other hand,
Druid.
is rocking the Druid deck.
Okay, I don't know a whole lot about Druid. I seen you playing Druid yesterday.
Druid is decent on Arena. Because their passive skill or their hero ability is actually almost usable in Arena, in that a lot of people don't use a heavy amount of spells in Arena. They're very much just put everything on the board. It's just it's just creature.
Yep.
And so anything that you can use to bolster your early game board clear and keeping things down and doing that extra 1 damage. Becomes very, very good to have indeed. So it's not too bad. It's still not great, but it's not one of your worst choices that you can make.
We're going to see how they do, or how iBlaze does is with the Druid deck versus the Hunter. If I was a betting man, I'd put it down on Hunter here.
Yeah, no, the Druids in constructing decks are possible to be quite good. But in a constructed deck, their ability is not all that useful, and you're really just reliant on a couple of specific combos and a couple of specific spells in the Druid arsenal to really go to work for you. The problem that they run into is that because of those spells, like stuff that adds 2/2 plus taunt, or +4 health and taunt, or +4 attack, is that it's a great buff, but you're putting a lot into one card, and because everybody in constructed deck is really focusing on a lot of board clear, especially in terms of like hunters and mages specifically, and priests can mind control, is that you lose those every egg into one basket, or all your eggs into one basket kind of thing.
You pretty much GG if you lose one of those.
It can be good,
or it can be really bad.
But it can go all the way bad for you. So let's hop into that
all this
first
talking is
game.
Making me want to watch some Hearthstone.
Some Hearthstone. Okay, so we are going to kick it off here. We even have a little bit of
setup.
I know this sweet new setup. So fancy.
All right, so it looks like Hunter is going to get a Snake Trap, Explosive Trap, a Houndmaster. And it looks like he's going to keep the Houndmaster and Explosive with the Snake, and grabs the Gladiator Longbow. Kind of shitty that he got the Gladiator Longbow so early on. I mean, it is nice to know that it's there, but the fact that you picked it up on your first 4 cards, it's not really going to help you anytime soon.
Well, he just got pretty lucky here. I mean, his opponent has actually got a decent start here. He's got to Innervate, so he can go up against the coin here. Innervate is a good way to get something like it. I mean, this is stupid.
Oh my God!
You get a Chillwind Yeti there right out the gate.
Did he really just get a Yeti right out the gate?
Yeah.
I think Major is really gonna need a like a board clear, like a deadly shot or something. Gonna have to save the coin and just hope and pray.
Well, I think
he's gonna take some heat.
I think right now he's debating using the coin, but he might try and hold on to the coin for a combo later on, or maybe get an early Savannah out on the board. I think he's gonna wait. He's gonna play his Animal Companion next turn. Wild Growth is gonna put Blaze is in a pretty good spot here. He's going to be one more mana crystal up on his opponent. Multi-shot is a decent card here, if only because he's likely to play another another beast.
Whoa! He just went and decided to just do 2 over the top. What do you think about that? Do you think he should have played at least the explosive trap, or do you think he should have just held on to it? If you played the explosive trap, it does 2 damage, right, to everything else on the board. And then
it does it to all enemies.
Yeah, but the thing is when the Druid plays another minion card, that Yeti would be down to 3 health, and he can play the multi-shot the next turn, which would have cleared the Yeti.
If he had another minion on the field.
Well,
right?
but you got to assume that your opponent is going to play another minion.
Sure.
Even so, maybe even a taunt to make your life even more health.
So
and that's a terrible card to get right now.
Welcome to Leokville, where everything is made up and the other 2 random monsters don't matter. Here's the thing that I was talking about. It's a druid. He's put all of his eggs into one basket here. He's got his 2-in-1 Yeti out. Super value card. He played that +4 health or +4 attack. He went with the +4 attack, obviously, because nothing was on the board, and he's got his opponent down to next to no damage. Now, the problem here is that he's continuing to put it all in here, right? Eventually, if he's now that he's got these on the field, he's going to lose that Sun Cleric, and he's going to have everything brought down on that Chin, which will win Yeti, especially once this happens.
Yeah, the Snake Trap's going to come out. It's going to give him 3 1/1s. Actually, they're all... Well, now that that's dead, they all would have had +1 attack, but...
He is going to multi-shot here and get rid of 1 snake.
Yep, that actually would be very good, and it's going to be a board clear.
Yep.
Very nice play here. Going to sacrifice and then do 2 over the top, but it's just going to get rid of the shields. And just like what you said earlier, putting all the eggs into one basket, and Druid now finds himself in a really nasty position. Although he does have an ooze in his hand, does not want to play that right now, wants to wait just in case that Gladiator Longbow does come out in the near future. Going to be able to get rid of that.
Yeah, see here, the other inherent issue with Druid is that they really don't have a lot of card draw. You really, and he's kind of forced to do this right now because he only ever he doesn't have much else. He has the Alchemist, and that's a 2/2 health card that swaps the health and attack of a minion on the field, an enemy or anybody really on the field. So. It's not really, that's something that you want to save for you know, more important endeavors than just putting it out on the field for the sake of putting it out there. But now he doesn't have an ooze.
Yeah, Major's
but
in a
most
really good position.
importantly here is the lack of card draw for Blazes.
Yeah, and the fact that the Longbow is still in play, he's going to have 7 mana next turn. He's probably going to play that Longbow, and then he's going to have basically clear for 2 turns. There's not a single minion that's going to come out anytime soon that's going to have 5 or more health. So he's going to have that buffer, and then he'll be able to play what I like to call Scar, which is the lion, because he looks really evil from
the Savannah High main, ridiculously nice card
I
here.
like this play too, what he just did here. In fact, that's even better than playing the Gladiator Longbow at the
Well,
moment.
when life gives you Leok, make him useful.
That's right.
That's what I always say. If they're going to give you Leok, damn it, at least make him useful. And a great way to make him useful is to give him Taunt and buff him up a bit. But here we go. He's going to swap it to get out this Charged Divine Shield to get rid of it. That's what I was talking about, that Alchemist.
Yeah, that was a really, really nice play.
That Alchemist is an underused card, in my opinion, by the way. Certain decks comes in a lot of handy. Yep.
There's the multi-shot. Still has 4 mana left. Gonna play the Explosive Trap and the Wolf, and passes it on, and still has the Gladiator Longbow. I know that he's on 14 health to the 25, but basically iBlazes is stuck with a top deck. He doesn't have anything right now, and look at the cards in behind. Each one of these scars alone do a shit ton of damage, and then when they die, they pop out 2/2 hyenas.
Yep.
This is bad news bears for iBlazes. Beautiful start to the game, but like you said, all those eggs in one basket at the very start of the game. So many cards went into that Yeti, and now what does he have? Nothing.
Oh, he doesn't have anything. Explosive Shot just coming out here. He's got that free board clear.
There it is.
There it is. It comes out, and now it's time to get chipped down, and it's a top deck scenario, which for a Druid is always pretty much the worst thing you can hope for.
Yep.
Because a Druid requires something out on the board plus a buff card of some kind to become really powerful, really dangerous. Unless you're just, you know, taking out a very powerful legendary or high tier normal basic card, which is not the case here. He's going to be able to keep the board clear down, but that Gladiator Longbow basically, and with a deadly shot, there's nothing that our poor iBlazes could do here. He is going to eventually lose this game, barring some sort of Christmas freaking miracle. But this is what I was talking about here, guys. If you're learning this at home, and I know a lot of you want us to do like tutorial videos and stuff, there's lots of material for you to learn this game, but essentially here, the major issues with the Druid are the lack of card draw without really taking a lot of stuff like, oh geez, now I have to think of card names. That's bad. There are, let me put it this way for those of you who are just learning, and here's Blaze's biggest card in the deck, is Iron Bark, by the way. This is his biggest card here. It is a taunt, but it's not going to be enough. It will get rid of the 2 high mains, but...
No, not even.
Actually, no, he's got Deadly Shot, sorry.
He's got the Deadly Shot, and on top of that, he's been very, very smart with
and he's got Hunter's
longbow. So he's been sitting on the 5. A lot of you guys at home may be going, well, why isn't he attacking with the 5? When you're ahead, just hold on to that longbow, and if he plays a card that can give you a little bit of trouble, you'll be able to clear it very quickly. And then your opponent will be forced to draw another card. Great game there from MajorAwesome.
Yeah, solid game there indeed. And good job by Blazes as well. He's just falling. He just fell a little short because of the Druid deck. You know, you don't have the card draw necessarily unless you're putting in those basic card draws. And I'm just failing because I'm not a name person. But there are cards that anybody can use, regardless of hero, that will give you card draw, and you need to rely on those because Druid, by nature, does not, no pun intended, does not really have that much consistent card draw. And so when you're using a lot of when you use a monster and then you've got to immediately buff it to become powerful, then you can see where you might get into some issues.
You're losing like 3 cards in 1, right?
Yeah.
And then if you're playing something like a Hunter and a Deadly Shot comes up, wow, what a hit you've taken. But
yeah,
good
absolutely.
Game 1. Let's jump right into game number 2. We've got what decks do we have going on here?
Oh my goodness! Oh my damn!
Another Hunter.
Oh my goodness, we're going ham. Yeah, because Hunter, of course, he won with that. So he gets to move on with the Hunter. And Blazes is forced to switch. He is going to take out his Paladin deck.
Okay.
For this, and his Paladin deck. Let's take a look at that deck real quick before we hop in. We've already seen Majors, but Blaze's Paladin deck here is pretty much a basic value deck. It's very similar if you saw last week's episode of Hearthstone here with us, where we talked about Frenchie was a value-driven player, where most of you relied a lot on Chill Wind Yetis and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Basic cards backed by the Paladin spells. Yep. That's what we're about to see here right now from Blazes. Very similar. I believe he's also running 2 Chillwind Yetis. Very similar style to Frenchie here with Paladin, which is great because that's really where Paladin shines, especially if you're running maybe some Divine Shields and stuff like that.
You know, Paladin is also another one of those, can be one of those putting all your eggs into one basket. I hate to use that analogy again and again and again.
It's not Easter, damn it.
But okay.
It's Christmas.
Putting all those presents in that stocking.
There you go.
There you have it. Let's just jump right into the game, dude. Let's just do it.
Let's jump right into that game, ladies and gentlemen. Game 2 on the way. There's like 9 seconds in between this video for us to wait. There we go. There it is. So.
Okay.
Game 2.
Here we go. Paladin gonna pick up the Buzzard. We got Scar and the Panther. And for my man Major, we've got, well, let me see here. Wow,
you swapped that.
This is a very different. Oh shit! Sorry.
You swapped that.
iBlazes.
Yes.
And Major. I was gonna say, what the tits? How does he have all these beasts in his deck?
Yeah. So you know what? Blazes actually has a pretty decent friggin' starting go here. He's got an Ooze. He's got Coin. He's got Yeti. He's got Sun Cleric. He's got Argent Commander. All of these things that people who don't play this game have no idea what's being said. Now, I am incredibly surprised that he got that out there. Although he has a second one, he should consider having held on to that, maybe just for a little bit.
What, the Ooze?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's one of those cards that you really should just hold on to it.
He's got a second one in his hand, but you gotta be careful.
Yeah, if you're gonna take 2 damage, take the 2 damage, right? You don't Don't screw that up. I mean, the thing with the Buzzard is it can be kind of scary because you do draw a card every time a beast is being played. But you're totally right. I would have held on to that just a little bit longer, especially since he played this deck previously, and he knows that there's a longbow in the deck and how much grief that actually caused him last game. Another Buzzard is played here. He still has 2 mana. I would have played the Hyena to draw another card there, and then you would have had the, you know, the two twos out on the field.
Yeah, and here's why he might have wanted to do that. He already saw the Chillwind Yeti out. That is a 4-mana card. Odds are that means that is the 4-mana card that Blazes wanted to get out on the field, and he probably didn't have another one in his hand unless he just drew one. Odds are. So playing the odds, he didn't need to put the snipe down because he likely wasn't going to play another beast out on the field, and that's exactly what happened. He didn't. He went with the True Silver, a 4/2 weapon of awesome that heals you, and he's going to be able to get a couple of decent shots out of here. Leppy hype, gets rid of snipe.
Yep. Still
does damage to him.
Because
value.
Yeah.
It's a circus of value! And here we go. He's going to play a Swamp Ooze. Now, this I really disagree with because now he's gotten rid of both.
Yeah.
He is going to give it a Divine Shield.
Very nice.
However,
I
still would have held on to it.
We don't have a whole lot going on here. He doesn't want to play the Deadly Shot. It's a big risk, and the risk does not pay off.
Oh, no.
That was a huge, huge mistake there from MajorAwesome. Should not have played that Deadly Shot. There's certainly other ways he could have played this. He could have played the Hyena and taunted it with the Houndmaster. There's so many different options that he could have done there to play a little bit more safely.
Even if he played the high main there, it's a soft taunt. He had 4 damage out of the weapon. That wouldn't have been enough to take it out entirely. He would have had to tank at least one of those into it. You know, he could have, I mean, he would have forced to use something else. He had Hammer of Wrath available to him, but that would have been a more valuable thing there. Now he's just got a buffed.
Yeah, this is
just a buffed Divine Shielded Ooze.
Yeah, and I mean, this Ooze should have never have gotten this big, really. But it is. It's there, and Major's finding himself in a really, really tight situation. And I don't know how he's going to get out of this. Even with a longbow, he's still not going to be able to clear that Ooze. How does he get out of this?
Really the only way that he can do this is that he's got to just absorb that weapon shot. And the problem is Blazes has another True Silver champion, and he has another Argent Commander or Argent Protector, and he has Hammer of Wrath. Hammer of Wrath, for those of you at home who don't know, Hammer of Wrath will do 3 damage to a beast and or to an enemy, and then it will draw a card.
Nice play here.
True Silver Champion is the same weapon as he's got equipped right now.
He's gonna take the Rhino. He's gonna hit. The Rhino won't die.
Yep.
And it's gonna be really attractive for iBlazes to attack this Rhino because for one, it's really low. He's just gonna get his little shitty footman to go down and do the dirty work. Then the snakes are gonna come out, and then he's gonna be able to play his Hyena, and then he'll be able to kill off each one of those snakes and buff the Hyena each and every time.
Yeah, no, that's a decent way to go. He's going to get another shield on there. And unfortunately,
remember that whole thing that I just planned out there?
Erase it because Knife Juggler. Yep.
Damn, that is rough. And that whole plan went to shit. It seemed like a really good plan, and he gets redefined.
Yep. Yep.
GG, bitch!
That's highly unfortunate. That was, you know, backing up a couple turns. He really needed to get a taunt out or a big soft taunt like a high main he has in his hand right now to really make that useful. And now he's going to buff this into a. He's probably going to buff the 2/2 here. Yep. Yeah. Forcing him to kill that to get the Hyena buffed up, and this is his last hope.
It's his only hope, but the thing is there's
Hammer of Wrath is going to do terrible things to his butthole. Unfortunately,
goes 3 damage. He's gonna draw a card from that.
Consecration just showed up. 2 damage to everything.
That's just gonna suck monkey dick. And there goes Hyena, 2 damage over the top, and snakes are gonna come out here, but it's only gonna be 3 1/1s. They're not going to do anything, and you got the Juggler in there. It's just going to be able to snipe one of these bitches off 1 by 1. I would just go over the top right now, and then next turn kill him.
Yeah, no, that's.
Oh, actually, that's it.
No, he goes over the top now and wins.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's you know, as soon as True Silver comes out and you're up against a True Silver weapon like Major was up against there, and there's any sort of board, it becomes very difficult. And the reason being is that if you have nothing out on the board and you've damaged the enemy champion at all, the True Silver Champion is one of the best weapons in that it heals you. So if you can attack the other enemy champion, you take no damage, but you also heal for damage. So you're doing 4 damage and being healed at the same time. If you're using the True Silver for anything other than that, it's still good, but it's not as efficient. Blazes was able to use it to its maximum efficiency there, but more importantly, Major banked a little too hard on pulling something to deal with that ooze.
He kind of had a bad draw that game, too. I mean...
It wasn't a terrible draw.
It wasn't terrible. The opening was decent, but where was the multi-shots there? He had one deadly shot. There was no longbow. It just seemed like he got a lot of big cards at the start. I think he had, what, 2 scars in his hand at one point. There's just a lot of high mana crystal cards at the start, so that was a bit unfortunate, but at the same time, iBlazes played that so well. There was really no mistakes from him, except for maybe prematurely using the oozes early on, but that one, the second ooze, the first one was wasted, but the second one really paid for itself in spades.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, and that was you know, it's a risk. It's a risk that he took.
Yep.
It paid off.
It worked.
It paid off because it could have gone. It could have gone totally the other way, losing both oozes there. But he managed to make it work. So good game there. We are now 1-1.
Yes, best of what, 5?
Best of 5. 1-1.
Going
into game 3. What do we got coming out of Mr. MajorAwesome? Now that he has lost with that deck, he is going to bring out his rogue deck, sir.
All right, rogue. Major's rogue deck is a heavy spell deck, and it's spell power based.
So he's going full bore. Like, I mean, this is something that you kind of theorize. You see all the combo spells and stuff that rogue has.
Yep.
And then you think to yourself, well, if I can spell power that bad boy up, I can really make that work. And yes, it can work. It is not that reliable, but it can totally work in the right situations. There's a lot of powerful board clear with spell power. The thing is getting the spell power out and keeping it there.
The thing is, with the only problem I have with rogue now, since they've had their nerf, they're still a powerful deck, but I think it's one of the most decks that requires the most luck. You really have to hope and pray that the RNGesus is on your side this game, because you have to get the right combo cards, and on top of that, you have to have the skill and knowledge to know when to hold them and when to fold them. And it's one of those things. Know when
to run. Fuck.
Yeah, anyway. But you see, you know what I'm trying to say.
I know what you mean. I mean, Rogue is a very high skill deck, so if you're just getting into this game, I suggest not playing Rogue. Because you really do, like Jeff was saying, you need to know, when to play your cards, because it might mean taking like 7-8 damage to the face over the course of 2 turns before making an appropriate move. And that's a scary thing, because you're playing on the edge with Rogue quite frequently. Very rarely do you get into a powerful position right up front and hold it the entire game.
The whole time. No, Rogue is one of those, you're behind, but you're waiting for that ultimate play.
And then, I mean, Rogue has the ability to do a shitload of damage in a very short window.
But then that's it.
But then they're open as hell.
And that's it, yeah.
After that.
Very true. All right, well, let's see if MajorAwesome can put in the damage. Once again, iBlazes is going to be using his Paladin deck. Let's jump into game number 3.
Watch your back.
All right.
I still haven't figured out a way to be able to sync up when we're casting this and when the video starts, so I have to kind of like look and see what we're talking about to try and line it up.
Sour.
We don't have a system yet.
But once you line it up once, you'll be okay.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
Well, we can do like some sort of countdown with the clap.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do something like the clap on, clap off.
All right.
So Major actually started with a ridiculously good hand here.
Yeah.
He starts with Coin Defias, which is the greatest thing ever. This is our town, scrub. Yeah, beat it. Ridiculous freaking opening to have here. Yeah. Luckily for Blazes, he is a paladin and can play at least to get a 1-1 on the board.
Yeah,
unfortunately,
rogue,
it gets rid of that, and now he's got 4 damage right out of the gate.
Ouch. This is going to be a...
Most importantly, he has his Blood Mage, which is a legendary card that is 2 mana, next to no health or anything, but it's plus spell power, and upon death, he's got something else. I think it's card draw or something like that.
I do believe it's 1 card draw for the death rattle.
Yeah.
I think.
I think that's how
I don't play Rogue,
how it plays,
so I'm not 100% sure. I haven't played them since they got their nerf. But once again, he's going to use the hero power to get rid of the 1-1, and he's going to take another 4 to the face. And after this, he's going to be taking 6 to the face. He
Yep.
doesn't do something real soon.
Yeah, he's got a consecration.
Card. Yeah, beautiful card to have.
That's what he needed right there.
Yeah, that changes everything. And the Death Rattle is able to draw a card, and it's his turn, so he's going to drop another one. What is he going to do here? Is he going to play the...
well, he's going to play another Loot Hoarder.
Yeah.
And he's going to play the Blood Mage. So there he is, or Bloodthorn, or whatever his friggin' name is. It's a gold one, which we should point out is rare.
Legendary.
Is rare.
Yeah.
Very rare, in fact. And, oh, there we go, Novice Engineer. Speaking of one of those cards that I mentioned that everybody can use that can draw cards, there's one.
That's a value card, man.
It's pretty good early on. Getting that out for the Argent Protector, getting that shield on there, that's going to allow him to take out the Legendary right out of the gate, one way or another.
Too bad he didn't have like a taunt or something to be able to keep that card.
Right now, Major's thinking of how he can keep both of his cards alive.
Yep, and he's going to be able to...
And it's not possible, unfortunately.
Well, yeah, that's very true.
No, he can go over the top, and that's about the show. He can get rid... I would get rid of the Argent Protector.
Oh, did 4.
And that would be what I would do there.
Let's see what he does. Does another 4 damage.
Why not?
Damn. So much. All right, it's going to be a Death Rattle. He's going to draw a card.
Now, if he was
I like
if he was intelligent, he should have really gotten rid of that to get the card first, because then he would have seen that he'd get Eviscerate. Yeah, and he'd been able to do even more damage.
I think what he wanted to do there was use his spell cards to get the +1 spell damage from that legendary.
Mm-hmm.
So he played those 2.
Yeah, well, before he attacked.
Which was the smart thing to do.
Yeah.
So it could have been done either way.
Give or take. Yep. Now, very nicely here, we have another Chillwind Yeti out on the field again. Super value, unfortunately.
That is
he is going to be removed. I think Major's going to... This is one of those times where I'm talking about... Sometimes you just have to take damage to the face.
You know what?
This is one of those times.
I would go right over the top. There you go. Beautiful play. He's going to do 7 damage. That puts him down to 7. And of course, he has a Divine Shield on that bad boy. He's going to be able to get rid of that very easily with his 1/1. And then the Yeti will be able to take that out if he so chooses. But I'm sure he's going to... well, is he going to play... Is he gonna play
it's difficult. He can either play Argent and Commander and charge kill it, or you can play Taunt. I'd play Taunt.
I'd play the Taunt too. Yeah, that's probably what I would do. Or was he gonna take it to the face? What is his plans here? Oh, nice! He gives it Divine Shield. I didn't even see that card in his hand.
I didn't see it in his hand there, and he's going to do... This is about the best play he could do here. Yeah. He's going to get 2 health back. He's going to do 4 damage.
Beautiful play.
That's about all. That's about the best you could do. I did not see Hand of Protection in there. He also has Blessing of Might. Okay, and he has Humility, which I believe is reducing enemies' attack to 1. He's unfortunately going to lose his Chillwind Yeti there, and he needed that out on the board. Something fierce, because he can't just take that to the face at 4 damage.
Yep. There's the
he really needs to get...
There's a Charge Divine card. He really needed that. He's gonna Charge Divine the dragon, and
over the top.
Is he gonna do 4 over the top? He's got to start dealing damage. He can't wait. He can't be. Well, this isn't a part where you just hold maybe I'll just hold on to this just in case he plays a card.
This is actually equally as much about him just getting 2 more health back.
Yeah.
Because he needs that pretty desperately. Unfortunately for him, there is a plethora of cards that Major can make use to him here. He can just go and charge in. He could have also tried to get a bit of a combo there. This is a soft taunt, right?
Yeah.
He can get rid of... Alright, this is an interesting...
That was a different play. Okay, it works. He clears that. It's still going to be kind of scary for MajorAwesome, knowing that his opponent has 5 cards in his hand.
Hammer of Wrath.
Ooh, that's not a good card for Major. And what's going to happen here? He's got a lot of spell cards remaining.
Blessing of Might, Blez.
God.
I mean, he has to be... The thing is, Blazes is... I feel like Blazes is a bit wary about using Blessing of Might, because if there is an Assassinate card, then it's all over but the crying. Major was hoping to get rid of that taunt like this. He will, combo. But he's going to have to take damage to the face here if he wants it to happen.
Take 3 to the face. He probably should play his taunt card at this point. Yeah, there's the taunt. Very, very nice. That was a good play by Major. He's got a lot of damage out on the board. And he's also got a taunt there to help him out. So this is really looking good for Major.
So the play here is he has to use Consecration.
Yep, but it's only going to do 2 damage, and unfortunately, that's not going to get rid of any of the minions out on the field.
And he's also going to want to perhaps use...
He's going to use that and then give Divine.
Yeah, Divine did that because he's going to get rid of this taunt with it.
That was a good play.
And he's going to likely want to use that to the 4-2. Yeah, Humility to change his attack to 1. So now he's reduced the damage on the board to 4 in total with only 3 health on that side.
Very nice play.
Oh, that was...
Game changer.
A game changer.
Game changer. It's going to give taunt to the adjacent minions.
Yep.
And this wall just became a deadly one. This is the wall of China you ain't climbing.
There it is.
And there's no. GG.
4 damage. 6,
GG.
10 on the board, 11 with his, he's got exactly...
Power. That's enough. Look, he's calculating it in his mind right now.
Major's gears are grinding. It's burning. You can see smoke coming out of Major's head. He has exactly enough damage.
Yep.
Exactly. Come on, Major.
Kill him, Major.
You can do it.
There you go.
Yes.
Boom.
There it is.
Boom. Boom.
Bob's your uncle. No.
No! What? I thought he had enough. He's 1 off. We were both wrong. I thought he had enough to use a mana.
Oh, wait, I thought he had 4 mana, not 2. Well, don't we look silly?
Oh, fuck.
Don't we look silly?
Whatever. Still.
Well, what has to happen is since he doesn't have anything. Oh my goodness. Blessing of Might. Blessing of Might.
Oh god.
Blessing of Might.
Oh god.
Oh no!
He's 1
Oh shit! That's so bad.
Oh my god, he's down to 1, and that is it. That is so disgusting.
Oh no. Oh, he's even buffing his card.
That manner. He just buffed his opponent's card. Oh god.
Oh.
Dang. Oh. Oh, the pain.
That hurt me to watch.
Oh, the pain.
Oh my good lord.
Yay.
That is highly unfortunate.
Oh my goodness.
On a scale of 1 to unfortunate, that was about as unfortunate as you can get.
Both players go down to 1 health.
1 health. And we look silly in the process. I saw the 2 mana there, and I was calculating. I was calculating 2 mana
spell power, right?
Minus eviscerate.
Yeah.
That's where my head's at.
Whatever. It was still epic. Either way. Game number 3 goes to Major. It is now 2-1 in the series. Major needs to win the next game, and iBlazes has to win the next 2.
He has to pull it back.